Although it's been 20 years since the events of 9/11, many of us can still remember it like it was yesterday. America and the world even has never been the same. From Rifelion Media, the King of the World podcast series explores the impact of that day for the American Muslim community through the journey of its host, who was a high school senior at that time. This 7-part series delves into what it was like to be a Muslim living in America for the past 20 years in a unique and accessible way, covering topics like identity, belonging, mental health, and addiction, alongside the related events of the last 20 years, including the war on terror, spying, discrimination, media representation, and resilience. If you like podcasts like Serial or 1619, then you'll love King of the World. Subscribe now to King of the World wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Yes, Unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of Unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles. And of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping. You can domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support. If you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together, you can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, have you heard of the Hidden Compass, the podcast?
Why, yes, I have. Hidden Compass, the podcast, is about stories and storytellers at the frontiers of courage and curiosity. Join Hidden Compass co-founders and podcast co-hosts Sabine and Sivani as they narrate stories from their award-winning magazine, and then go behind the scenes in interviews with each storyteller to see what inspired them to venture to the frontiers of courage and curiosity. Hidden Compass is for the journalist chasing big questions and meaningful exploration. It is for the reader hunting profound stories that immerse, inspire, and inform. It is for anyone aching for substance and longing to celebrate collective human endeavor. Here, the nuance of the world is within reach. Hold on to it. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe.
Great, Mike. I'm going to subscribe today. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, you know what? We always like listening to other technology podcasts, and I found one that I think is phenomenal.
Would that be Trending Tech by any chance?
That is. We've talked about it a couple times, haven't we? Expert analysis of the new technology impacting global business. And we got an ad for them, and we would love all of our TechTime radio listener fans to join in and listen.
If you ever wondered how technology is changing all our lives, you're going to love the Trending Tech podcast. Because lately we've covered starlings that help create high-speed networks and horses that can train execs to be better leaders. We've seen what augmented reality looks like through next-gen contact lenses. Did you know artificial intelligence is changing your shopping experience right now, and healthcare, and even Audi cars? We learned recently that Amazon is playing games with its warehouse workers. And while many of us now prefer working from home, a top telecom network tells us businesses are facing a deluge of attempted frauds. So check out the Trending Tech podcast at trendingtech.io. It's critical, but not all serious.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio, Hour 2 with Nathan Mumm, Mike Gorday, and David Brown behind the board. How are we doing for our second hour here, guys?
I'm in my mic pose.
You're in your mic pose?
That's right.
You're relaxing.
I got whiskey in me.
You're sitting back. It was 107
Chilling.
proof whiskey, right?
107 proof whiskey.
Ooh, that stuff was stuff was good. I'm sure glad we have another hour before we have to go and do our debrief of our show at the restaurant.
That's right.
So for all of you guys that don't
Are we
know,
getting Thai food again?
I think we should do Thai food.
I think we should do Thai food.
That Thai
again.
food place is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. So after all the shows, it's a tradition that Tech Time Radio. Now, we wish David could join us, but David has to stay here at KKNW 11:50 until like 1 or 2 in the morning, making sure everything's running right. Right?
That's midnight, actually. 12 midnight.
Until 12 midnight. Okay.
Okay.
12 midnight, and then David gets to go home. So David...
he can't go to a Thai restaurant.
So he can't go to the Thai restaurant, but he would love it because we have a good time there. We debrief on the show. We take a look at what went well in the first hour and what we want to change in the upcoming shows, and then we bring that back, of course, to our Thursday night production meeting that we have.
That's right.
Thursday, and that's the feel good meeting where everybody comes on in and rates the show, and everybody's very brutally honest. And sometimes we rate our shows on a scale of 1 to 10. So this is kind of inside info, right?
Yeah, you're going to tell them about your whole number 7.
Yeah, so you
rule?
can't rate a 7. So what happens is when you come on in out of a scale of 1 to 10, 7 is always the most common used number that people use, right?
Yeah, but you realize by doing that you make 6 and 8 the most common number.
So 6 and 8. So 6 means it was kind of under par.
That's right.
And 8 means it was a little bit of over par. So you have to everybody make a decision on that.
Why do you say no 7s?
Well, because I used to work at a company, Microsoft, and we would do a scale of 1 to 10.
Uh-huh.
And
the
the most common use was 7. It's
That's right.
non-offensive vote. This means it's okay.
That's right.
But it's not great. So you can say a 7 and people don't get upset, but people aren't really energized with a 7. So I make sure that you either have to do, of course, a 6, which means, we screwed up a little bit, or an 8, which means, okay, we're on right track and we have things going well.
Or we say a 3.
Or we say, what is our lowest rating I think we got for a show? Did we get a 3 or 4?
I think I said something once.
I think you said
where
once
I said
it
it
was
was
3 or
a
4.
3, and
Yeah.
I said just because Nathan was talking about it, nobody ever gives us a 3.
That's right. That's what you said. All right. Well, welcome to the show. This is the second hour. Hopefully, you're listening to us live Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. If you're listening to us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and Sunday, then you're catching a rebroadcast. So what you want to do is you want to go to techtimeradio.com to make sure you stay up on all the latest events and information. You can always click and contact us on our website. You can go and you can take a look at previous guests, interviews. All of our episodes are broken into hour segments there. So if you catch the first hour and you want to see the second hour, you can do that. Or if you're catching the second hour now and you're saying, hey, what did those guys talk about the first hour? You can go back and take a look at it.
We drink whiskey.
We do drink whiskey. And Mike's ready to have a nice nap now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really relaxed. Right now.
That was a pretty good whiskey. All right. We're a 2-hour show. On today's show, on the second hour, we're going to be talking about our Steals and Deals segment. You want to be a part of this because this is the information that tells you which iPhone. We're going to be covering just iPhones this week. Which iPhone you want to talk about. Apple released their new iPhone 13 announcement with their big shindig that they had on Tuesday.
Been out?
The iPhone 12's been out for about a year and a half.
Okay, so we're averaging about a year.
It's about a year and a half, maybe sometimes 2 years until they make another announcement.
For the iPhone 85.
The iPhone 85.
That's right.
So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about what happened to Apple. If you have an Apple phone right now and you have not gone to your system's icon and did a update to, let me take a look at my phone right here. I think it's 11.6 is what you need to have for your Macintosh software. What you need to have for your software version on your phone is a 14.8. If you have not done that, you should absolutely be doing that now, unless, of course, you're streaming us on KKNW 1150 and you're listening to us on your iPhone, or if you're listening to us on our Twitch station /TechTime Radio, YouTube /TechTime Radio, if Facebook /TechTime Radio, and Instagram /TechTime Radio.
And if it's not Saturday from 4 to 6, feel free to pause and go update and come back.
That's right. So absolutely. Now is the time to upgrade your iPhone because we're going to be talking about some huge security breaches. And then we're going to be talking about our 13 myths of technology on our What We Found on the Web. This is a very interesting segment. It is actually an off branch of our segment that we did 2 weeks ago regarding USB drives, pulling them out in the myth.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago. It was two shows ago. Yep, because we had Mr. Gregoire and Gwen on in last week's show, and it was the show before.
That's
that.
right.
And that would be episode 64, Tech Time Radio, episode 64. If you go back and take a look at that at TechTime Radio /YouTube, youtube.com/TechTime Radio, you can go and find out all that information about the flash drives.
You should just simplify it. Any
flash drive you have on any PC or Mac. If you go and click on the eject button process to do that, that is a waste of your time because you can yank it out as long as you're not copying files to that. And the myths that you had to go and properly eject it do not exist.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
What are you going to talk about?
I was talking about the social media. Just say social media /TechTime.
TechTime Radio.
Any social media.
If you go to
platform,
Google and you search for TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm, TechTime with Nathan Mumm, TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm and Mike Gorday, you can put yourself in there too. If you Google search Mike Gorday, you'll see a Mike Gorday website that comes up, and then you'll see our TechTime information.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right. If you would like to engage us on the show, we had a caller call us in the first hour. We always love, and we put callers up as priority number one. So if you call right now, we'll put you on the air. It's 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-KKNW, which is 1-888-298-5569, and we'll be putting you on the show. We'll have David ask you a brief question, and if it's good enough to go, we'll put you on the show and answer your question for you the best that we can. But now we're moving into the beginning of our show where we start with our conversational cards presented to us by our friends at the Love Shack. And when does the Love Shack air, David?
Love Shack Live airs every Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on AM 1150 KKNW. And we got to throw in one more little plug. Mr. Mike over there will be on their show Thursday, October 14th.
That's right.
That's right. All right. You're going to be talking more about love connections?
That's right.
Now that you're engaged, what's going to happen?
I don't know. I haven't told Stacy about that.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
listening to the show.
So Stacy's going to have to find out. Oh, she listens to the show. So Stacy's going to find out that you're engaged. Now, now the questions are going to be different. What are your questions you're going to be talking about?
I believe we're going to be talking about narcissism in relationships, which that's if you apply the social media ocean, you see that a lot.
All right.
So we'll be talking
when you
about that.
say narcissism, just one picture comes to mind, but I don't want to say that because that wouldn't be appropriate because we try to stay very neutral in our conversations. Okay. All right, here's our conversational.
Fantastic.
Yes, here's our conversational question: what is the most useful belonging that you have, but you cannot say your cell phone?
You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is my computer, but that's really not true.
Okay. What is the most useful?
My wallet.
Your wallet's your most useful belonging?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm using that thing every day.
Okay.
I carry, I get it out to get groceries, to pay for gas.
So the idea of the leather wallet or whatever type of wallet you have,
I have an ARFID protected wallet.
Is the most useful belonging to you.
See, this is my wallet right here.
Oh, look at that. Oh my word. You didn't know that we actually have like the same type of wallets.
Yeah.
I have the same.
You have the same one?
Yes, I do
the
actually.
ARFID protector?
Yeah, and I have my dollars wrapped around the side.
Yep, got a money clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
That's my answer to that.
I like
question,
that answer. Now I have to think of my answer to make sure it's better than that.
It's not as obvious that because I imagine we all go to our phones because we're using that all the time too.
Correct.
And then I use my computer all the time too.
Okay.
But I also use my TV and all. But everything kind of revolves around me carrying my wallet around with me. So
I got an answer for this now.
All right,
I know what I'm going to say. Oh, no, hang on. David's up next. David, the question goes to you. What is your most useful belonging and your cell phone does not count?
How about this one from a left field? How about my home plate umpire gear when I'm umpiring Little League Baseball? Kind of need that when you're behind the plate.
Oh, that's a good one.
The chest protector, the mask, the shin guards.
Because otherwise that ball bounces up.
No, but what he's not telling you is that he wears that all the time around his home.
Oh, is that what he does?
That's right.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
He's got this empire.
That's right. He's got that big
he's got the mask.
That big old heart-shaped pad. He's like, come on.
He's like,
let's
honey.
fight.
He's like, honey, I need to eat. And he's like trying to go through that mask.
That's
there
right.
You go. All right. So my most useful belonging is going to be running water.
That's
This is
That's lame.
What are you talking? No, hang on. Running water. The idea of being able to pipe water into your house and be able to take a shower. Just think of that. Over 100 years ago, that was not available, right? You'd have to go on out and you'd have to stand underneath a bucket. And if you heated it up, you would heat it up in a boiling pot. You'd put it on top. Yeah. You'd push down on a deal and you would take a shower, and then you'd have to soap yourself up and take a shower. Now, sometimes I shower twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. So if I go out and I work out and I get sweaty,
you don't work out.
No. So if I was outside, just say this morning, I wake up, I always want to take a shower, right? First thing I do, wake up with a shower.
The wake-up shower.
Yeah, I just love hanging in there with the water coming on down. Waking up.
That is a very useful thing, but is it a useful object?
Well, then if I go out and let's say I did some chores today before I came into the radio show, then I get all sweaty. You don't want me showing up here all sweaty, do you?
You shouldn't be doing chores in sweat.
Sweat? What? Well, if you're doing chores, then you're probably sweating because you're
not
like
really.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I sweat a little bit, so maybe I sweat a little too much. So then I want to clean up, and then I go back in and hang out in the shower and have the water. It's just very refreshing.
That's your me time, huh?
That is my me time. It is. That's right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get the show started. All right.
David was laughing.
All right. Now let's get our second hour started with our TechTime Steals and Deals segment.
Welcome to the TechTime Radio's Steals and Deals. Pay close attention to the Steal of the Week.
What's the steal of the week?
Oh, well, hang on. We got to go through.
This cool British lady is talking to us about.
We like that, though. We talked about that at the Thursday production meeting,
that's right.
Oh, so the decision was made. All right, so we got all the best iPhone deals right now on this page. Okay, drum roll.
Yeah, no, that's just
all right. The latest iPhone 13 pre-order started yesterday. So if you want to get an iPhone, I got like 8 emails on my technology emails. I just got bombarded by it. This week's iPhone deals aren't just about the iPhone 13, though. We're going to go on and take a look at the best option for older devices also, which include lower than ever before prices on the iPhone 12 series. All right, AT&T. You know what? If I wanted to get a new phone right now and I did not have a phone number, and I'd be like 0.000% of the world that doesn't have a cell phone right now. If I decide to get a brand new one.
Is that the actual percentage?
Well, I'm sure it's probably pretty low. Most people have a cell phone, right?
That's right.
But if you wanted to get a cell phone or change over, AT&T is providing the best, by far, offer right now for the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Save up to $1,000 with trade-in on a new plan to AT&T. You can
save up to $1,000?
$1,000.
How much does the iPro 13 cost?
The iPro 13 is about $1,500.
Wow.
I know, for a device.
This is
the Pro Max. The Pro Max is the Pro Max is the big boy, right?
So you get it for $500.
So, but actually, if you actually do their $1,000 with the trade-in, they'll actually take it in and they'll give it to you absolutely free with a 2-year contract.
2-year contract.
2-year contract. So you can get a brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max, but aren't you going to have that phone for 2 years probably?
The rate at which these things come out.
About every 2 years, right?
It's becoming more like a year. It's about a year in when I start having problems with my phone.
Is it?
That's the
charging
battery. The battery dies really fast. My GPS is all over the board.
Yeah.
Things just start going wonky about a year in.
Okay.
Which is part of this. I think is part of this marketing stuff.
Well, if you don't want to do that for 2 years, you can actually get a new iPhone 13 Pro for free, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max for just $99. With the AT&T launch promotion just this week. You're also available to receive a $200 off bonus on the savings if you bundle a new Apple Watch Series 7.
How about that?
So if you decide to bundle them together, everybody's about bundling, right?
Yeah,
so you bundle together the iPhone Watch Series 7.
That's like subscription services.
It is. Well, we're kind of talking about
bundle.
All right, let's talk also. Let's say I wanted, though, a free iPhone 7. Okay, I can get a brand new iPhone, did I say 7?
Yeah,
free, that's what I have. So I have an iPhone 7. So I have an old version.
Really?
I don't upgrade my phones to the newest versions.
You're terrible.
I actually buy on Swappa, which is like this phone service where you can buy used phones. I always buy a used phone unlocked so I can use any carrier that I want in that. And then I normally have it last 2 or 3 years. And then every 2 or 3 years, I get an older version. So this year, maybe at Christmas time, I'll go from the 7 to the 10. I don't have to have the newest phone. I don't see any advantages of the new phone. But if you wanted one,
I don't either.
The iPhone 11 is available for free right now with a new unlimited data line at Verizon.
Yeah.
So if you want Verizon service, there's huge debates here in the Pacific Northwest. What is better, right? So it's AT&T is kind of like this middle ground.
Where's the coverage? Especially with the new 5G network, we've talked about that in the past. How T-Mobile
is pretty progressive on 5G.
Actually got the best deal for
5G.
5G.
Correct. With their merger with Sprint, the best 5G coverage that will be coming out is T-Mobile. There's AT&T, and then there's Verizon. And if you live here in the Pacific Northwest, if you go over the mountain ranges, which is a big deal because our state is divided in half. When you travel over the mountain ranges, T-Mobile doesn't have service up there. So AT&T has spotty service, but Verizon has cell towers at all the ski lift areas, and so that is the kind of carrier here for Verizon to get all the coverage in the Puget Sound area for your deal. So you can get a free iPhone 11 with a new unlimited data line at Verizon with a minimum requirement of 2 years.
That's
2 years is like the big thing, all right? Now let's say you wanted
somebody I know is got involved with a 2-year contract and didn't know she did, and now it's really bad.
Now it's really bad?
Yeah.
Because now you're paying a high price on the 2-year contract. It was really cheap at the first year?
They gave her a phone,
okay,
which I believe was an iPhone 11.
Okay.
And I think it was a refurbished phone because she's having all kinds of problems with battery life. It's not connecting well to the network. It's just a piece of junk.
Okay.
And
so their 11, the iPhone 11 was not a good phone in my opinion.
Yeah, and she has to call the company, and anytime she calls them, she's routed to different places, and they can't really solve her problem, and she's hooked into this 2-year contract.
What service does she have? Does she have Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile?
I'm not going to say.
Is it T-Mobile?
It is not. It is not one of those three.
It's not. Oh, it's not with T-Mobile, AT&T, or Verizon.
No.
Is it one of these like Mint Mobile or one of these other express carrier services, kind of on the cheaper end?
Kind of.
Maybe.
Yeah. Stop asking me questions because I'm not going to tell you who it is.
All right. Okay.
Starts with an X though.
Starts with an X. Starts with an X. What's the X technology carrier? David is going to take a look at it. There you go, David. While he's behind. Was that Xfinity? Oh,
I was going to say Xfinity.
Xfinity. Oh, don't go with the Comcast version of their phone.
Yeah.
Because they just use leased lines from all these other carriers.
Bad.
Is it?
It's bad.
Yeah, but you know what? They'll throw in a deal anytime you call them up. They'll throw in a deal for you, won't they? All right, here we go. Let's say buy one, get one. Your iPhone 12. You can buy one and get $700 off your second device at Verizon if you go in right now. Now, this is the week right now to go on in, and you have until Sunday to get all of your deals on your phones because the new iPhone 13 that just got announced, they're taking pre-orders and they're dropping the prices of all their other devices right now in the hopes that either you'll sign on for one of those older contracts or you come on in and you want to get the brand new 13 that Apple just released because we all just want to have the newest, greatest phone, which I have no reason why. Because I've never been in a meeting or never been out and said, wow, Nathan, you have an iPhone 7? You don't have an iPhone 13? How dare I hang out with you?
That's a form of FOMO. We would know it better as keeping up with the Joneses.
Okay.
It's a form of competition that we engage in where humans want to get the latest and greatest because it's a form of status.
A status? All right. So our next thing, AT&T. You can get an iPhone 11 for just $10 a month with a new plan, and you only need 1 year.
Oh, it's a 1 year.
A 1 year. So if you want to get a brand new iPhone 11 for $10 a month, new plan, you can get that. Mint Mobile, right? So this is Ryan Reynolds' company, right? Have you ever seen his commercials?
Yeah.
He's hilarious, dude. I love him as Deadpool, dude. He's the best.
Those are some of my favorite movies.
Dude, he is so good in that. I mean, that is him, right?
Yeah.
That's just like Iron Man is really Tony Stark, or Tony Stark is really
that guy?
Robert Downey Jr. I mean, so Robert Downey Jr. was the whole party life guy and everything like that. He kind of sold that. So, all right, Mint Mobile, an iPhone 12 mini with 6 months of free data is available for their standard monthly rates of $25 a month. So you can get yourself an iPhone 12 mini. You have an Apple trade-in. You can save up to $515 on a new iPhone with a trade-in if you just go to apple.com. Let's take a look at my buddies here. T-Mobile, because I'm a big T-Mobile person. Thank goodness I have my T-Mobile plan. I pay nothing for my phones. I appreciate that, and I get Netflix for free. All right, T-Mobile, you can receive up to $830 off the iPhone 12 with a new line or trade-in. Now, your trade-ins, let's talk about this. Trade-in has to be non-broken glass in a fully functional phone.
Oh, okay.
So ideally, I have in front of my phone here, I put down this glass layer on top of my glass itself.
Yeah, I did that too.
And
busted it.
You busted the glass layer or the full or all the way through?
I didn't know that it was the glass covering, so I dropped my phone.
Okay.
And picked it up, and there's all these spider cracks all over.
Yep.
Like, oh man.
A lot of people just continue to use their phones when that happens. I don't get that.
I can't.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah, I can't do that. For whatever reason, it just makes my skin crawl.
Okay.
Maybe that's anyway. So I called them to send out a technician. He comes over. He peels the thing off. The screen's fine. I'm like, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
You're just fine. Why don't you go buy yourself a brand new screen? And
that's all I did was buy a screen. I didn't realize because the old screen protectors were just a plastic cover.
Correct.
And I had no idea that this screen covering was actual glass.
So that actually saved you. So did you just buy another one on Amazon and then put it on top of it?
Yeah, I just went down to the Verizon store and bought one.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, here's our steal. The iPhone 12 Pro Max was $1,099, but right now it's $799. You can buy it outright at Boost Mobile. Get it before it's gone. Apple has nixed the iPhone 12 Pro Max from its lineup, but Boost Mobile has it on sale. The iPhone 12 Pro Max delivers the best camera of any phone, plus you get the stellar display and unbeatable performance. Boost Mobile is taking $300 off its price and offering it at the all-time low price of $799. The phone features the 6.7-inch Super Retina OLED display, 5G connectivity, Dolby Vision HDR video, 3 rear cameras, and the A14 Bionic CPU. That is the steal of the deal. Right now, Boost Mobile, go online to Boost Mobile, get their iPhone 12 Pro Max, and you will be taking home a $1,000 plus phone for $799. So there are people right now grabbing these phones, going in and they're putting them up on eBay and other locations and selling them for
$2,000.
Well, no, they're just selling it for that $1,000 price point and making about $300 profit just by going and getting the Boost Mobile phone.
Capitalism.
So there you go, $300 profit. You want to make $300 tonight? Go buy yourself a Boost Mobile phone for $799. Put it up there, unlocked version at $1,000, and you'll be able to sell it. Okay.
Are you sure?
Well. Yeah, I looked into doing a bunch myself. I did. I am sure. 100% sure. That is your steal of the deal. We are going to now go to a commercial break. When we come on back, we got a very exciting segment that we're going to be talking about. Since our last flash drive, we had a fan say, it'd be great if you guys could pencil in information and talk about a bunch of technology myths. I've picked out the special number of 13, that spooky 13 number. We're going to talk about the 13 biggest myths in technology. So go get yourself a pencil, go get yourself a notebook, or open up your iPhone on your notes to take informational repositories of what we talk about here on the next segment. We'll see you right after the commercial break.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Microday here and Mr. Brown behind the board. All right, we're going to get right into our next segment. Grab yourself a pencil, take some notes, because we're going to be talking about the 13 biggest myths regarding technology.
Tech myth.
What we found on the web.
All right, let's start out with myth number 1. Mac computers can't get viruses.
Yes.
I hear this all the time from people.
Right.
Right? Oh, my Mac computer is secure. My Mac computer is safe. Let me tell you, we're going to be talking about Nathan Nugget at the end of the show. The Mac computers are not safe. They're vulnerable to viruses. And the company used to market itself as the computer that did not get viruses. But Mac quickly changed their tune in 2012 when a Trojan affected 95% of all Mac computers.
Really?
95% of them were taken care of. Closing app, yes. So essentially, that was number 2.
Boy, you just really messed up.
I went right.
Tech myth number 2.
All right, so let me tell you, Mac computers are secure as long as you remain and keep them up to date with their current operating system. So I have a Mac computer right here for our show, right?
Is that kind of like the Microsoft thing?
It is, but Microsoft does a great job and they probably do a better job, in my opinion, than Mac does.
They've been doing it for longer.
They have. So when you get a Windows update, have you ever had your computer where all of a sudden it just doesn't start? It like stops working. You go to the internet and you're like, I can't get to the internet now. I can't get to this. If you notice, Windows normally had an update that ran, or you need to get an update, and what it'll do is it'll shut off your ability to use your IP addresses. It'll shut off stuff, so you're like, okay, well, what do? I restart. And then all of a sudden, you'll restart.
It's like forcing you to use your EULA.
Yeah, that's right. It'll have a Windows update, and then it'll start updating your software, and then when you come back in, boom, all of a sudden you get to Chrome, you get to Firefox, and it's taken care of.
I can always tell when Chrome needs an update because it stops
working, too.
Yeah,
you noticed Chrome, over in the top right-hand corner, they have this little icon that will turn green, yellow, and red.
Yep.
So many times I, as a technician, I'll go and I'll sit in front of somebody's computer. They're having problems with their internet, and there'll be like this big red. Again, it's a stoplight syndrome, right?
Hey.
So green means go, yellow means, hey, you got some warnings, you need some updates. If you got yourself a red light, you need to probably update your Chrome browser and be like, I'm having problems here. I'm like, okay, let's update your Chrome browser. Oh, it works perfectly. But Mac computers, big myth. They get viruses. Now, how do you protect your Mac? You don't have to buy third-party software. Norton will kill me for saying this because they keep on trying to push their software. All you have to do is make sure that when you go underneath your Apple Macintosh, make sure you go to System Preferences, which is your Apple icon over there, and make sure that you have your software updates set to automatically keep my Mac up to date. It's a big checkbox that you have there. Make sure you have that checkbox taken care of. And then all of a sudden, when you need an update, it will take care of it. So I have Mac OS Big Sur 11.6.
Is that not an automatic
It's not by default automatically checked in your operating system. So you need to go and click that on. All right, let's go to number 2 myth.
Number 2.
Closing apps on your iPhone saves battery life. Have you ever had your phone open? And this works the same for Samsung, right? Your battery's starting to drain. All right, and all of a sudden you have all these apps over, so you start scrolling through and closing all of them, because if you close all those apps, that's going to save the battery for your phone.
That's right.
Oh, that is incorrect. Many myths around how batteries work on smartphones, but let's take a look. As it turns out, swiping away all those apps running in the background on your iPhone and Samsung devices doesn't do anything to further your device's battery life. As a matter of fact, they only actively are using the top app on your phone itself. So unless you close your phone, you can have 50, 60, 70 apps open, and it will not make any difference on your phone battery life.
Really?
Yes. You didn't know that, did you?
Well, no.
Because what happens is you think...
And I'll tell you why. Because when I
You use Chrome and you have 1,000 open.
Well, no. When I'm thinking about when I notice that my battery life is really bad, I use an application.
Okay.
And it always says unused applications, close these, and all this other stuff.
Okay.
So there are active programs out there that are saying that this is why your battery life sucks.
So now let me ask you, that battery life software that you use, did that come natively with your phone?
Of course not.
Oh, no. So you downloaded somebody's program that you thought would help you save battery life.
Right. And
you're like, oh, this is going to be great. Somebody reviewed it or it's on the store.
Yeah, you're trying to get things done. It's Avast. And,
okay. Avast. Okay, yeah. And so you thought
but
that
this isn't what I'm saying is that when you get these things, that's an active protocol that they're telling you is a problem with your battery life. So
people believe this, and people have written theology papers on this. They've written.
How can this be a theology?
Well, not what's the thing? Sorry, it's not theology. What is it when you go to college? A thesis.
Thesis, yeah.
Theology.
Yeah, theology. What kind of thing? Wow, that's a
thesis papers.
A whole different. That's a whole different conversation.
The theology of Apple, right?
That's right.
The religion of Apple. All right.
Yeah,
let me tell you about Vernism. If you ever want to hear,
I already know about Vernism.
Okay, Vernism. All right. So essentially, closing your iPhone does not make anything. The CEO, Tim Cook, had an answer in 2016 where he received a bunch of people saying that it absolutely sped it up. And they had to have Craig Fertighi, Federighi, the Apple Senior Vice President of Software Engineer, essentially come on and say, no, doesn't make any difference on what you have on your apps, whether you close them or not. We only are tracking the application of your active desktop app.
So the question then becomes, why does my battery in my Apple iPhone suck?
Well, that's a different thing. You can go and Google Apple software updates screwing up battery life, and that may be a whole different deal that they do.
I got an iPhone 10 for my work phone.
Yeah,
and just recently it won't go a whole day without having the battery.
Well, I got an iPhone 7.
Crazy.
Let me tell you, I got to charge mine at least 3 times a day now.
That's just ridiculous.
Well,
and it shouldn't be because it's not that old.
So I have a Samsung device, right? So I got a Samsung 9, again, an older version. I can go a day and a half without charging that bad boy.
Yeah, as long as I stay off YouTube.
Well, okay, that's true. All right. Okay, number 3. Private incognito browsing keeps all of the stuff I visit anonymous.
No.
So
just keeps.
So what happens is what it does is it clears your cache of running any of your plugins. Is all it does in your browser. It does nothing to keep anything private.
Right.
I had somebody.
That is only to make sure your wife doesn't know what you've been Googling.
What you've been Googling. Yeah. So what it does is it doesn't keep your history. Wife, husband, significant other, boss, anybody. Essentially what happens when you go to incognito window, it doesn't track your cookies and your browser and your information. But none of the stuff that you do in an incognito window are anonymous because it's still going to your ISP. It's still going out to your router. Everything that you're doing on that incognito mode, and people are like, oh, look, I'm in incognito mode. You don't know what I'm doing. I can do bad stuff here. No, I've had people that have gone onto the dark web and said, well, since I'm in the incognito mode, I'm going to be fine because no one's going to be able to track me. And I literally had somebody call me up and say, hey, I have a bunch of warnings. I've got a bunch of information from my internet provider that I've violated a bunch of stuff, but I was in incognito mode. I said, okay, moron, what the heck? Why are you calling me, telling me that? Of course they're still tracking it.
That's why you need a VPN, right?
All right, so let's talk about that. So number 4, using a VPN keeps my internet traffic safe and confidential. Okay, let's talk about it.
This is a myth?
So a VPN is a virtual private networking. No, what do you pay for a VPN? You're paying for that company to store your data. That company gets your data. Your data when you're going out to the internet is all being tracked. Right. None of it is incognito. Even if you're using incognito mode and you're using a VPN, it's going to the VPN provider. If you decide to send it to ExpressVPN, then you're probably going to have the CIO in the first hour take a look at what you got going on.
He might get the Arabs involved.
Yes. United Arab Emirates maybe taking a look at what you got. So what you need to do is you need to understand the VPN company that you pay money for to keep your information private from Comcast or these big providers, you're hiding that information from them and from Facebook and from Google, so they're not tracking what you're clicking on to give you ads.
So I've been hearing a lot of, on the radio,
a
lot of advertisements for DuckDuckGo. And we've talked about DuckDuckGo.
So DuckDuckGo is a good website. So it guarantees on its website that it does not keep traffic or it does not track you as a user to say Microday's on right now and he's going to go to these 8 sites.
So this isn't the VPN, is it?
This is not. The VPN is the virtual private networking that allows your internet to not know what goes on, but your VPN company, you have to do a lot of research. I use NordVPN.
What's the best?
So we should have a conversation. We should have a conversation here because Nick has one that he likes the best. I have one that I like the best. He does not like NordVPN because NordVPN was compromised.
That's right.
And it was compromised. Absolutely, it was broken in. But they informed people that they were compromised. He uses, what is your VPN? Viper. So he uses your VPN because we were talking about it when Nick called and said, hey, this is my favorite one that's available.
That's funny.
What's that?
I'm the less tech of you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm 0 for 2 now with you.
so right. So that's well, you know what? We just make sure we keep our customers safe.
And my website was more optimized than yours.
It was.
After Fire, I got a hold of it.
Yeah, thank you, FireEye, for messing with my website.
That was MikeGorday.com, by the way.
MikeGorday.com.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Visit MikeGorday.com.
That's right.
If you need any help with counseling or anything else, you can just visit
Human Behavior Consulting.
There you go. All right, so your VPN does track your information. You just need to make sure that your VPN company that you're paying money for deletes the logs. Find out and do research. We have an article that we did probably in episode 35, 36, 37, where we ranked all the VPN services available. And you need to make sure your VPN deletes the logs so that those logs are not resident. NordVPN does delete the logs. Now, they may get hacked or something, but they still delete the logs. All right. 5, it's impossible to track a smartphone without GPS. I hear this all the time. So
you mean you can be tracked without your GPS?
Absolutely. Well, GPS is certainly the best way to pinpoint the location of a mobile device.
Not on my mobile device.
Not on your mobile device?
No, my GPS doesn't even know where I am.
We've actually looked at it a couple times too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the only way because you can also track your cell phone through Wi-Fi networks and cell towers, as Pew Research Center noted in a study in 2017. So every time I go from tower to tower to tower with my phone, and police do this all the time to track criminals, they can take a look at how that phone is moving from cellular tower to cellular tower, so you can track it. Now, you don't get a pinpoint location. You get about a 30-yard radius of where
the range of that cell
tower is. Correct. And they can actually take a look at a weak range versus a strong range, so they can take a look and say, okay.
Well, what they use is triangulation. They get the closest towers and use that to triangulate your position.
Correct. All right. Number 6, Facebook uses your phone's microphone to listen in on private conversations. This is literally, I Googled this, and there are so many people that believe this. Oh,
is this
my word.
Is this like chemtrails out of airplanes?
Yeah. So let me now, we're not talking about Google. We're not talking about Google's phones. We're talking about Facebook. So let's be very, very clear here. So Facebook as a company,
right,
does not use or have access to anybody's cell phone to enable the microphone to listen to private conversations. So if you go to Facebook and all of a sudden you're getting ads for something that you've looked on, what it does have the ability to do is it takes a look at social media networks, takes a look at where you're floating information from, where your searches could be from within Facebook, and takes a look at your neighboring contacts to see if they're engaging with you on conversations to make recommendations. But no, there is absolutely nothing that is available on Facebook to grab your phone and to have information on.
That's a relief.
All right, well, we're halfway through our segment. We're going to need to take a commercial break. When we come on back, I got the question here that we're going to take care of. Does leaving your phone plug-in damage the battery?
It does, doesn't it?
Well, we're going to talk about that. So I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We're going to see you right after this commercial break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hey, babe, I hear that you can download a new voice on Siri.
No way.
Yes, it's true. It's a voice that goes, hey, you big hunk. What do you want to do and where do you want to go?
Stop it.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm kidding.
What has tech ever done for our relationships?
We can't talk about that on the radio.
If you want to eavesdrop on juicy conversations that no one is having around all things love, sex, and relationships, join us right here, 1 p.m. on KKNW and wherever you get your podcast.
We look forward to seeing you in the Love Shack.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Dun, dun. All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We're going to continue our segment, all right, about myths on technology. When we left you off, we asked the question, does leaving your battery phone plugged in damage the battery? Now, you said absolutely yes.
No, I didn't say absolutely yes.
Well, what'd you say? What do you think?
Was like, what?
So leaving your phone plugged in, does it damage the battery?
I don't think so, but
like,
that's my lazy talking.
Okay. Well, your lazy's been pretty good, though, lately,
it's
right?
usually pretty good, yeah.
You pulled out the flash drive as a lazy option.
That's right, it's a lazy thing, yeah.
And so far, you've been in pretty good shape. Let's talk about that because, like most people, you probably believe that leaving your phone plugged in overnight after the battery is fully charged will damage the smartphone battery or reduce its life. But the truth is actually more complicated than you think.
Oh, okay. Well,
so essentially, it's based upon charges from full charge to down charge. So your battery life is based upon a full 100% charge. Mm-hmm. Then when it depletes, whether it depletes to 1%, 5%, 20%, 80% makes no difference. When you plug it back in and it goes to 100 charge, that's accounted as a recharge cycle. Mm-hmm. So if your battery goes down to like 3% and then you charge it in, yeah, you maybe had it on longer, but that charging doesn't make any difference. So if you have your charge at a 90% and you plug it in and it goes back to 100, then that is considered one charge cycle. So it does not damage your battery, make any difference if you leave it plugged in for 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, because it's at 100% and your charge cycle is not charging the phone anymore, and it's just waiting to be depleted.
Is the battery life dependent on the charge cycles?
The battery life is dependent upon charge cycle. Every time you buy a battery, you get only so many charge cycles. It's kind of like life. You know, we only have so many breaths in our life before we just pass.
When I'm doing stuff, like when I get in my car, I plug it into the car.
Okay. And if you had a 90% battery,
so if I'm stepping in and out of that thing, I'm actually damaging my battery because I am going through the charge cycles really fast. Because if I get out to go to get gas, I take my phone with me, then I come in and I plug it in my car.
Does it go to 100%?
No.
Okay, so then you know what? It doesn't consider that a charge cycle. Okay. So if you really wanted to maximize your battery,
so there's like a little counter in there, like ding, we're at 100%.
Yeah, that's actually
charge cycle made.
Well, that's kind of when we talked about the flash memory writes and read and writes for Tesla. Remember where they had to replace all of those?
That's right.
Because there's only so many read and writes. That is how a battery is rated upon how many charge cycles are available into your battery.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go.
Is that a nugget?
Yeah, that is a nugget because normally the only time I get 100% charge rate is when I'm at home and I throw it on my charger.
Okay, so there you go. All right. Now let's ask the next thing. Should you always let your iPhone battery completely die before recharging it?
Yeah, this is a big one.
Okay, so do you think you should let it go all the way down before recharging it?
I'm going to say no.
So this, too, is a popular myth. Apple points out specifically that you can charge your iPhone whenever you want to without worrying about the battery. You complete one charge cycle when you use a discharge an amount that equals 100% of your battery's capacity, but not necessary all for one-in-one charge. So it's the same thing we just talked about.
But where does this myth come from?
This myth comes from Nico batteries that we used to have back in the 80s.
Nickel cadmium batteries.
Yes, so that you used to have rechargeable batteries back for your old RC cars that you had because it was too expensive to buy alkalines for those, right?
That's right.
So you'd always buy these rechargeables. And literally what happens is you'd only get a certain amount of time for them. They did not have the lithium.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes of drive time.
It was bad, right? Because it used to be like 10 minutes and then it would go from this and that. But that is what it was expected to be.
I just found a bunch of old NiCad batteries.
Did you?
Chargeables, yeah, for RC stuff.
Did you throw them out?
No.
No, you're going to keep them for that 2-minute charge?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Number 9, more megapixels always means a better camera. Have you ever got 16 megapixels, 20 megapixels, 200 megapixels, right? The megapixels has become the standard specification by many people to evaluate smartphone cameras, but there are many factors that impact a camera's performance, including the lens. The size of the pixels is actually more important than the number of pixels
Size
there.
matters in the megapixel
It
industry.
does.
Huh?
So how you actually account for those pixels are more important. So if you have a megapixel size that 0.000 centimeters versus 0.00001 centimeters.
Yeah. See, when I first started learning about computers, when I was this is in the 90s.
Okay.
Somebody was telling me that this is the size of a pixel, and I asked them what that was, and they couldn't tell me.
They couldn't tell you a pixel is what you have a display on your screen.
Yeah, what's the size of a pixel?
So the pixels depend upon every different variation of your screen size, your OLED size, whatever you have. If you buy a cheap knockoff screen, you can be full HD and your megapixels.
I was trying to get them to tell me what the size of a pixel was, and they were like, well, I don't know. So they couldn't tell me.
They couldn't tell you?
No.
That's why they don't host a TechTime radio
That's
show.
right.
All right. Okay.
There you go.
Number 10, higher resolution always means better smartphone display.
That's a myth?
That's right. Resolution is one factor, but certainly not the same. If you have an OLED case, if you have an OLED front end versus an LCD front end, it doesn't make any difference on the resolution because it matters what quality of glass you're using to display on your phone.
Uh-huh.
Okay. OLED displays panels versus LCD, which only displays border colors in deep contrast. Again, an OLED screen is always better than any LCD screen available.
Okay, then.
All right. Number 11, you shouldn't use your iPad charger to charge your iPhone because you only need to charge your iPhone with the charger it comes with.
That's the whole thing.
There's a lot of people believe this.
That's like the thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
They tell you to only use this charger.
Yeah.
Because they want you to buy their charger.
Yeah, so any third party, as long as it does the same ohm output and it does the same voltage output, can do exactly the same. There's no difference. It's just a voltage output that needs to be taken.
Right.
Apple says that it's fine to use a power adapter that comes with your iPad or Mac to charge your iPhone. Doing so does not change any difference, but it sometimes does increase depending upon the ohmage that is available to charge your phone faster. All right, myth number 12, so we can get through these. Holding a magnet close to your computer will erase all of its data. Oh, see, this is a tough one.
That's a tough one.
So technically this isn't incorrect.
Right.
But you have to remember that this was originally created back when we had floppy disks that used magnetic
I still have
data.
some of those.
I do too. Magnetic data to store the information. Experts, again, say that it's hard for these new modern computers because they do not use magnetic fields any longer with the actual microchips that are SSD-based. and actual USB-based cards that are available for memory. So memory has changed. If you had an old floppy drive, you don't want to get any magnets with it. If you go buy your magnet on your refrigerator, you'll be fine. All right,
Quick,
number 13. Cell phones give you cancer.
Oh, my gosh.
Most studies conducted so far have found absolutely no link with cancer. The American Cancer Society has published over 14 different articles, all stating cell phone has nothing to do with any cancer victims or cancer solutions at this time.
Yep. You know what's wrong with this whole thing about the myth?
What's that?
They're never going to go away.
I know.
They're like viruses.
So that's right. They're always there. All right. Well, that ended our segment there. As you can tell, we're running out of time. Let me just tell you a quick update on the nugget of the week. If you have an Apple device, you need to absolutely right now go and get it updated. You need to go click on the system preference on any iPhone, any iPad, because there was a bad virus that was sent. You can just Google Apple Pegasus software anywhere on the internet, and you'll find out what happened. Essentially, people can get into your phones without you ever knowing.
David's
it.
finger
so go
waving.
get that.
Get on.
He is. He wants to make sure we end here on time. So I am Nathan Mumm. That was 2 hours of Tech Time Radio. I appreciate you joining us. We got Mike Gorday here, David Brown behind the board. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.